Is the Olympus OM-2 still worth using in 2025? Let's talk about it.
This is the view from Olympus. Olympus OM-2, top of the line, top of a new world of single lens reflexes. Hold it, focus and fire it. State of the art, total sophistication of electronics, total simplicity of use, camera of professionals, of people who take no less than excellence, take no pictures less than great. Olympus OM-2, excellence by design.
After 5 years of using the Olympus OM-2, let's talk about why I chose this camera. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the build, the camera's features, the usability, and the image quality. So the first thing I wanna talk about in context of the design is how it feels in your hands. This camera right here is perfect size. It's very comparable to your Canon AE1 or Pentax ME Super. Other than that, I have a pretty medium-sized hand and it fits perfectly. And after 5 years, the camera's durability has been able to withstand the test of time. Okay, so now let's talk about some features and the usability of this camera. So in my personal opinion, the most exciting feature this camera has to offer is its aperture priority mode. So if you don't know how aperture priority works, essentially you just set your aperture, focus your camera, and press the shutter. I would say I shoot on aperture priority with this camera 80% of the time, and I haven't had a single problem in 5 years. Moving away from the aperture priority setting, this camera has a standard manual mode, which allows you to change the aperture and shutter speed yourself. And there's nothing super crazy about this setting other than that changing the shutter speed is very simple in this camera. It's got great little notches for your hands to grab onto, and it's super smooth. This camera does come with an internal light meter, which is extremely helpful, and it seems to be very accurate in a lot of varying weather situations and lighting conditions. When you're in aperture priority, it shows the shutter speed lined up on the left side, and it has a bar that goes up and down with your varying light. In my opinion, this has been extremely accurate, and I haven't had too many misreadings or under or overexposed photos when in aperture priority. In manual mode, the light meter looks a little bit different. It's just a bar with a plus and minus symbol on the left side that you just want to line up that bar right in the middle for a perfectly exposed image. And like I said, I do shoot a lot of aperture priority, so I haven't messed around with the manual too much, but when I have, it doesn't seem like it has too many problems. The viewfinder is also a very nice touch on this camera. There's not too much information when you look through it, and compared to some other cameras I have, it seems like it's a little bit bigger. My one con about the viewfinder is that just like any other camera, it collects a lot of dust, but for some reason, this one seems like it collects a little bit more. And luckily, since it's a little bit wider, it's pretty easy to clean with a little Q-tip. Loading film into this camera is also extremely simple. It's got nice little hooks, and the little clips in the spool catch the film very nice. I've only ever had a few frames slide on me or slip inside the camera, but honestly, they're at the beginning of the roll, so that's probably my fault anyways. The advancing lever and the shutter button are two features that I really enjoy about this camera. When you're advancing the film, it's got a really nice weight to it, and it snaps back very quickly. And when you're ready to take a photo, there's nothing better than hearing the classic Olympus shutter. So let's talk about my experience shooting with this camera. This camera is extremely simple to shoot with, and that's why I bring this camera almost everywhere. I've used this for street photography, for portraits, and for a lot of landscapes. This is my favorite choice for when it comes to landscapes and portraits. Something about the shutter and the metal feel of the body when I'm shooting landscapes just makes it feel right. That's probably a pretty weird answer, but that's just my honest opinion. For street photography, this isn't my #1 pick, and that's mostly because of the weight of the camera and how the advancing lever functions. And what I mean by that is with for example, my Pentax, the advancing lever is really quick and super responsive, and it hangs out a little bit. So when I'm taking a lot of photos, it's much quicker and easier to shoot with. On the flip side, with a camera like that, I do lose a little bit of image quality, and it's all plastic, so it just doesn't feel as authentic in my hands. So I have two lenses for this camera. I have a 75 to 150. I also have a 2x converter with that, but this is the 50 1.4 lens, which is my go-to every day. The glass quality for the 70 to 150 is great, but I'm just not too much of a telephoto person, so that's why I choose not to shoot it. All right, so after looking at some images that I took with this camera, let's talk about the reliability of it. Over the last 5 years, the only issues I've had with this camera have been with the battery. I've had to change the battery out more often than I wanted to, but there's a lot of variables that go in with that, so I won't blame the camera. Luckily for me, the light meter has continued to work and all of the electronics inside the camera haven't been a problem yet. I should also probably mention that I have left this camera out in the rain once, maybe twice, not for too long, but it held up and there was no damage and it still works. I've also, obviously, after 5 years, banged it against a lot of things. I don't think I've dropped it more than once, but that's enough to break it, so it's been able to withstand the tales of time. Okay, so let's talk about who this camera is meant for. I think it's honestly meant for everybody. Whether you're a beginner, professional, I don't think it matters. This camera will do what you ask. And is this camera worth it in 2025? Well, I personally don't see why not. It's cheap, it's durable, and honestly, it's just got a really nice aesthetic to it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.